All right, thank you, Blair. We are going to skip over Happy Dollars singing and introduction of guests. We have time at the end. We'll introduce our guests. So now for announcements, if the following people could come up: Stacy Williams, Jack Lohman, Josie Hill. And while they're coming up, I did have an announcement from past President Wes Cowley, who said he has waited 30 years to make this announcement, and he could not be here today, so he left it up to me. It was simple: Kentucky 20, Florida 13. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, Jack.
So thanks for letting me follow that up. Yeah, go Gators. Just quick reminders about the golf tournament. We are 2 weeks out. So if you are planning on bringing me cheer for our basket of cheer, please do so as soon as possible. If you don't want to go to the liquor store and you would like me to do it, you can either give me cash or I'll give you my Venmo handle and you can send me money. Also, we have our putt for $5 today at the end. I'm selling tickets. Anybody that wants to putt, raise your hand. I only have one ticket. So right now, somebody's guaranteed to get a putt for half price dues if they make it. Lastly, we have 1 week to go if you want to be a sponsor in the event, a whole sponsor. We are still looking for a title sponsor. But if you'd like to be a sponsor of some form at the tournament, we have 1 week because that's when we have to get our signs printed. And we're still looking for golfers. So please sign up. And if you have any questions, I'll be at the back table. We'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Just want to invite you to join us on Monday, October 18th at the Lakeland City Commission meeting where Mayor Mutz will proudly give us a proclamation for End Polio Now. Beth sent out an email if you would like to purchase this great red t-shirt to wear. It's $15. It's the same one if you purchased it a couple years ago. So join us Monday, October 18th at City Hall at 9 a.m. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just a few updates on President Nate's Rotary fundraising program for this year, Know and Grow. This is with Polk County Public Schools and Polk Vision and our Rotary Club, opportunities to provide technology for parents and students at some Title I schools so that they can have online opportunities like those kids that have the funds already at home. On October 13th, there's going to be a Zoom training for any volunteers that want to participate. We will send some more information about that. There's also going to be an opportunity to observe it happening in case you're wondering what the volunteer opportunity actually is on October 11th, 12th, and 14th. And we'll also send some more information about that.
Okay, and there's a lot going on in the district as well, and all of that information is on your tables, and there's some additional handouts in the back. So take a look to see what's going on in the district. And now we're going to get straight to the program. So I'm going to invite Stacy Campbell Dominic to come up and introduce the program.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, President Nate. We are obviously, you're all here for the Lakeland City Commission Candidate Forum, and we want to make sure that every candidate has an opportunity to answer each question and for you to get each candidate will have 2 minutes for that. Make sure I got that right. Yes, 2 minutes. And then preceding that, it would be about 45 seconds to respond to each additional question. We have a microphone here that is for Zoom. So this one, I think, has to be passed along. Okay, so this one would be the one that Gwen, thank you, will pass along to each candidate. And we'll try to go in order so she's not running from one side to the other. She can just gracefully go down and go over to the next page. Yes. We will start, and I won't introduce the candidates because that's their job. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? So I will start with the first question. And the first question, if you could only address one priority first year in or back in office, what would that be and why? Let's start by introducing yourself, what seat you're running for, and then the answer to the question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shandell Terrell, and I'm a candidate for the City of Lakeland Commissioner, Southeast District D, and I have a passion and dedication to improve the workforce and labor deficit, recover from the pandemic, improve our infrastructure within the City of Lakeland, provide economic opportunities for small businesses, and support programs for our youth to be productive citizens in our great community. I was born and raised right here in Lakeland, where I attended Oscar J. Polk Elementary School, Crystal Lake Junior High School, and a graduate from Lakeland Senior High School. And I played football for Lakeland Senior High School, earned an athletic scholarship to Auburn University. And I was at Auburn University from 1994 through 1997, diagnosed with a pinched nerve in my right shoulder in 1997, and transferred to Florida A&M University, where I earned my Bachelor of Science degree. And I also earned my Master of Science degree and doctoral degree from Nova Southeast University. But more importantly, I am the chairman for the City of Lakeland Police Citizens Advisory Board. And when that board was formed, it was formed before the special election, and our top priorities were police, the law enforcement pay, in addition to the body cameras. So those were our two priorities. And then now I am a member of the City of Lakeland Gang Task Force Committee, and I've been on that committee for about 4 to 5 years now. And that committee was formed because of the shootings that took place on Brunel and Jewel in 2014. And we circulated pretty much the north area of the city of Lakeland to make sure that you have a great quality of life, because gang violence at that time was out of control. And we did community cleanups and provide food items to the constituents and let them know that we cared about them. And faith-based organizations, law enforcement officers. Thank you, sir. That's it? Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. That's it. Oh, and hold on real quick. For the question.
Oh, no, that was it.
That was it?
Yes, sir.
Affordable housing. That's it. Wow.
You said a lot. Yeah.
Matter.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Bill Mutz. I've been a member of this club for 25 years and a citizen of the community during that period of time. And I am grateful for the opportunity that in that period of time, a lot of what I have done is known. It's important to me because I am a person of transparency. So I've enjoyed being a businessman here and serving on many boards in this city. And I've really relished the role of being mayor, and certainly am not cast as the materials might suggest as a Marxist socialist individual. In fact, my conservative roots would indicate that, as well as all the policies we've done as mayor. So when I think about the opportunity that we have ahead of us, and I hate one item that you get to push the button on, because there's so much weighing between individuals' needs as well as infrastructure. But if I could push one button, it would be a button that would take our roads to where they need to be for our next 10 years of our future. And the reason for that is because we don't have the money and allocations, nor do we have the foresight from state levels to be able to do the road improvements that we dramatically need in order to do the phenomenal growth that we have begun and that will continue in our area inevitably. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to take the expertise and the continuity that I've been able to gain, not only as a businessman in this community and applying those principles, and not only as chairman of the Florida Family Policy Council, which is a statewide council on family policy, the #1 referencer to Tallahassee, but also because of the opportunity to have served as mayor and recognize the needs and the trust and the continuity that exists in that.
Ready? Remark? Get set? Go. Hi, I'm Saga Stephen. I am running for mayor of Lakeland. Raised here in in Lakeland, Florida, graduated from Kathleen. After that, I went off to sing and dance with Up With People. My dad, Jack Packett, has been with Publix since they had a handful of stores. He was one of 3 people that founded the Publix Credit Union. Sadly, he passed a couple years ago. My mother, Candy Packett's been a realtor here for generations. She's probably sold a lot of you homes. In any event, I came back home here to Lakeland and I started getting really into the community and seeing a great need. My number one, first and foremost, would be to the police department. Our police department right now is understaffed. Case in point, I read on a Crime Watch page recently, very recently, a lady had her soon-to-be ex-husband come to the door and yelled out, "Till death do us part," and blasted 4 shotgun blasts through the front door. Nobody was hurt. Police response time was over an hour. We are understaffed and our men and women are stretched out. I went on a ride with them on Saturday night. Oops.
Sorry, that's why I was holding it. Part of me.
Sorry. We'll get closer. I went on a ride with them on Saturday night. I was with them for 10 hours. I also talked to them about the body cam issue, which I do not think Lakeland is a candidate for. I did a couple videos on this. You can see in depth my views on my website. One of the other things I didn't think about is it undermines the police doing their job. They have absolutely no discretion. For instance, if a 16-year-old being a kid get caught with a joint, they got body cameras, kid goes to jail. It's a really good kid. They don't have the opportunity to go, "Look, kid, don't do this anymore." It undermines the police officer's ability to do their job, in addition to being an exorbitant expense that we don't know what the cost is going to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th year down the road. Right now, we need to get staffed up. Lakeland is growing. Lakeland and Austin are the 2 fastest growing cities in America. Lakeland has the same amount of police officers they do now as they did when Lakeland was at 90,000. We are now at 112,000. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Mike Music. I am currently the city commissioner for Southeast District D, and the mayor took a little bit of the thunder of what I was going to say. So my wife, I've got a wife, Nikki. We've been married for 23 years. She is a labor and delivery nurse and a nursing professor at Southeastern University, and we've got 3 college-age kids. One just recently graduated, so that was awesome. Last night she went up to Ohio to visit my daughter for Parents Weekend, and I stayed here to campaign. So I didn't get to see her for 4 days. So last night she got home late in the afternoon. So we went and we got dinner. She's got a little convertible, so we put the top down and we just drove around for about an hour and a half last night, just catching back up. And it was so cool. And I know this sounds cheesy, but as I'm driving down South Florida, right, and we're just driving around the roads, there was just this electricity. Right. The businesses are open. Restaurants are open. People are driving and going around. But there was still a lot of traffic. And we went down every nook and cranny road. So I would certainly echo what Mayor Much said, is we are growing leaps and bounds. And it's just exciting to see, as Saga said, we are growing. People are coming here. And we want that. We want those people to come here and bring their families and bring their jobs. I'm a small business owner. I've got a construction and roofing company. So I need construction. I need houses. And we're very hot in that market. So, we drove around and we looked at that, and I'm just excited to be currently a part of the cure for those future questions and needs that come up. So what I'm asking for is for re-election November 2nd. So please get to know all of us, do your research, and come out on November 2nd. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Roberts McCarley. I'm running for re-election to the City Commission for the Southwest District, District C here in Lakeland. I've been honored and privileged to serve you all for the last 3 years. I was elected in a special election in 2019. It was a very fast election, much faster than this one. It was about 45 days. So this has been an experience to run a full-fledged race. I just want to say thank you to all of you for a couple things. Number one, for your public service, because I look around the room and Rotarians forever have contributed to their communities at large. You all have been on the cutting edge of supporting your communities, of being engaged, whether you're engaged in a small part or a large part. We've trained a lot of leaders through Rotary over the last several years, as have other civic organizations. And public service is really, really important to me, not just being an elected official, but part of my DNA. I grew up in Davenport, which is the Upper East Side of Polk County. And I just think Upper East Side when you hear my accent. I know you'll think of New York. So I just want you to realize I'm a native Polk Countyan. I went to Florida Southern College, go Mocs. I love Lakeland. Lakeland has been such a strong community for me. As many of you know, I was widowed in 2009 very suddenly. And this church that we're standing in right now and you're sitting in, as well as the community at large and Little Shepherd's Preschool, as I look at Dr. Mike Loudon, rallied around my small little family and took care of us and prayed us through one of the darkest times of our life. And I feel like I was an engaged citizen in the city of Lakeland before that happened. I served here for Vacation Bible School as the leader. And one year we had, I don't know, 600 kids jumping up and down in this room. And I kept thinking of liability issues as they were doing that. And I was very blessed to be brought up and have jobs that were flexible so I could contribute to my community at large. And it's always been a part of who I am. I love serving. I love serving each and every one of you. And I'm at 2 minutes, Stacy, and I didn't even say anything. I get hijacked on my widow thing. I'm so sorry, but I appreciate y'all.
The next question is, how would you manage the growth of the city?
Good. That was going to be my number one thing if I had not run on and on and on. So growth here in Lakeland, obviously we're on the I-4 corridor and we have infrastructure needs, as the mayor and some of our other friends have suggested today. So we have to really balance what development looks like and look at this at a 30,000 foot view level. So all those moving parts have to work together, whether it's the roads and the infrastructure and sidewalks and multimodal transportation, which we're going to have to start considering multi-modes of transportation because we're never going to build our way out of this infrastructure issue. There's no longer a gas tax. There isn't a lot of funding for this. So that's going to be our critical need, is the infrastructure piece, as well as making sure that we have anchor institutions to support this new growth. So we need to make sure there are schools in the right areas. We need to make sure there are hospitals in the right areas and different things like that, so people have access and they don't have to sit in traffic, that we can look at this from a planning standpoint and work with our planners.
So I said 45 seconds, but I'm looking at the time and I'm looking at the time. Okay. 1 minute now. This is a whole minute for these questions. How would you manage the growth of
Thank you very much. Yeah. So, and again, it's so wonderful. I serve on the TPO board with Commissioner McCarley, and that is way outside of my realm of expertise. So it's such a blessing to be able to serve with individuals that have experience that fills the chasms of areas that individually we may be deficient. And as you're driving around, as you go down Pipkin, as you go down any one of our streets where there used to be land, you are seeing that we've got 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 houses either built or planning. And that really is the key. And it's very difficult to say anything more or better than what Commissioner McCarley said, but we're going to have to look at different modes of transportation, right? We just approved a park out off of Pipkin that we're going to be working on. So how do we take people that are living here and move them around without everybody being on the roads? And that's the multimodal transportation that we're talking about. And that's it. Thank you. Sorry. I set a timer and still didn't work.
Well, instead of echoing you two, I'm going to go back to my police thing. As Lakeland grows, we need to grow our police department. We need to have more cops per capita. Right now, the response time is getting slower and slower, not because of the police slower and slower, but because there's more people, more growth. Lakeland is also moving way far out. There's one district in particular that takes up about 90% of our resources for police calls. When people are coming to Lakeland, moving to Lakeland, if you have a city that has a rock star police department and you have a super safe city, crime is under control, everything's under control. It brings in good businesses. It brings in good families. They have a place that they want to raise their family. They want to live. They want to work. They want to play. They want to retire. And I think that's really key. In top-notch cities come with top-notch police departments. In addition to getting them around and moving them around, which the roads is a whole different thing. Lakeland's an interesting city in that it's big. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lakeland's growth. Lakeland's growth really has to be managed on several different fronts. One of them in the community development side is the increasing of by rights, so that we can look at what developers who may want to bring their money into this marketplace can recognize they can do right away. This commission has recently worked on expanding those, because we have to find partners that want to come along and take their investment money alongside opportunities we have for grants to be able to do the right kind of footprint placing throughout the city. We're orchestrating Catalyst 2.0, which is a downtown urban plan for footprints down there, because it's a matter of marrying. It's complicated. Both someone who desires to come with a project that we identify we'd like to have at a place where we want to put it. And so that's something else we want to do as well. And then, of course, as we can do this, we do this with roads in mind. And I think it's imperative for us to recognize we can't help our growth. So we must figure out how we add the densities in the right place that we can. And putting 8,500 people downtown is probably something we want to do.
We have to make sure that we analyze the data as far as residents moving here and build wisely, redevelop what we have, try to preserve the land as much as possible as far as the infrastructure and the building and controlling the growth within the city of Lakeland, which is very important. In addition to that, I want to really brief talk about the Lakeland Police Department now. I'll say in 2008 or 9, the numbers went up as far as employment with the Lakeland Police Department. Then with competitive salaries, the regions between Hillsborough and Orange took some of our law enforcement officers. So we just got that police contract agreement done. So we should keep our officers here more than likely. And then in addition to the body cameras, real quick, because I support that, because I'd rather support a program that's going to save us billions of dollars, possibly in lawsuits and taxpayer dollars too, then having to go back and say, oh, we need to go back and get the body cameras because we don't have them now. And I'd rather be proactive than reactive. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is, what are your views about a city-owned broadband network?
Sorry, back over here.
So the city of Lakeland is in partnership with Summit, which is not the Summit building on Lake Mirror, but it is a broadband entity that wants to come and have a 3P, which is a public-private partnership to serve our citizens. As far as the city being in another utility, I don't think that's something that I necessarily support. I do support having this partnership with a private company who knows about broadband, who understands conduit, who knows how to connect and work with the infrastructure that we already have to serve. If you think about broadband is just as important as roads and water. It's something that we all, each and every one of us use every day just by our smartphone. We also use it at home. We need it for education and we need it to have good businesses. So it's something that I'm encouraged about to see how we flesh this out with our public-private partnership. And I don't know though if the city should have its own, we already have a great utility in Lakeland Electric. I don't know that we need to get into the business of directly providing broadband services.
Thank you. So the broadband is one of the things that came up that the commission that I'm on, but the individuals beforehand talked a good bit about prior to me coming on board. So I had to do a lot of homework to figure out what is it that we're talking about. So when the agreement did come up in front of the city commission, I voted against it, and I'll tell you why I voted against it. I'm all for PPPs. My problem is I didn't feel comfortable with the length of contract that we had with this broadband company, because we have Spectrum, we have Frontier, we have some other ones. And I preferred personally a little bit more of a level playing field on that. But really, I would default back to the fact that it was such a quick jump for me to get in and vote that I felt much more comfortable in my expertise and knowledge of the facts to vote no than I did to just say yes on something that I didn't really approve. So I think it's great. We need it, but I didn't vote in favor of that.
It's interesting. I happened to run into the guy that brought it all here, and I talked to him about it. And as far as the city owning the broadband, I'm not really a fan of that. I believe in competition. I think competition is a good and beautiful thing. If the city is going to be a part of it, my question to this guy was, what are you bringing to Lakeland, as in how many Lakelanders are you hiring? His employees are in India. If you're going to have the city partner with you, hire Lakelanders. Bring it to the community, let us work it, help us out. Otherwise, let's keep it where it's not city owned and have the competition.
Absolutely against the city owning a broadband utility. It would be ludicrous for us to have done so, and might have cost us upwards of $100 million over a 10-year period of time of additional liability just to continue to service it. This is just the opposite of that, where we allow the private sector to be able to provide the services that we want to have, at leasing the lines that we have, and we actually get a minimum of $144,000 of income to something that might be in the $3 or $4 million a year worth of income. Just depends on the take rate of citizens in this community. Broadband is like water and sewage, but the difference is it can evaporate with a new technology change. And we could be hundreds of millions of dollars invested with something that we don't even utilize anymore. Our water pipes aren't going away, our sewer lines aren't going away. Broadband and technology race in their application. This is a perfect example of having protected citizen dollars.
It sounds good to have our own broadband internet service within the city of Lakeland, but right now we need to try to focus on replacing the unit with Lakeland Electric first. Once we get that done and have that unit back in place, maybe a couple of years on down the line, when we have those funds available and we have the resources available, if it's possible for the city of Lakeland to carry that load, so be it. But right now, it's not conducive for the city of Lakeland at all and the taxpayers. Thank you.
What are your thoughts for developing the northwest part of Lakeland?
So every sector of Lakeland, we need to be looking at, I think, universally, whether it's northwest, northeast, southwest, or southeast, and see what we need to do growth-wise. In the Northwest District, I will say that we have many neighborhoods up there who are actively engaged in our neighborhood area, or neighborhood association coalition, which meets quarterly. And a lot of those neighborhood leaders come in and share exactly what they need. So we listen to them as a city commission. I attend those meetings. Many of our fellow commissioners attend those meetings, and we want to engage as much as possible. As far as making sure that we have the right infrastructure up there, I think that's critically important. But I also think working on projects like Lakeland Square is helpful to the area, and making sure that they have connectivity. We have right now a discussion going on between Bonnet Springs Park, not between Bonnet Springs, but from a city level, of how do we interconnect Northwest Lakeland with sidewalks and roads to make sure that those communities are connected to everyone else. Right now, they're kind of cut off because you have George Jenkins Boulevard, Kathleen Road. So there really is not interconnection even between themselves. That's my answer. It's a minute and 4. Good.
Yeah. So again, connectivity is the key, right? I mean, if you've gone out there and you've driven out that way, that is one area that we still have a tremendous amount of assets in land. It really is a great area. We were just recently as a commission out on the north side, out off of Kathleen Road. Beautiful buildings hidden kind of behind the trees, and there's a lot of those opportunities out there. But if we don't have the infrastructure that needs to be out there, we don't have the sidewalks and roads, it's going to stay undeveloped. And when undeveloped land in a developed city stays undeveloped, that's when it stays lower income. It stays poor because we don't have the businesses and the higher higher wage jobs going in that direction. So, it's the if we build it, they will come. I truly believe if we will take our resources and we will push our development that way, because developers are coming here and they're going to look and we're going to say, here's what we have, here's the opportunities we have to encourage you to build in this, whether it's helping with infrastructure or permit fees and some things like that we've helped with. Thank you.
Okay, here's the broken record again. When I was out with the police, the Northwest District up there had 90% of the calls. We went through the neighborhoods. The neighborhoods are not safe. There's gangs there. There's a lot of crime there. There's homicides there. There's shootings there. There's a lot of things there. The police can take care of it if they're well funded. Case in point, at the Orange Bowl, which the bad guys came in and had a fight at the Orange Bowl and the gang people started coming in there, chased all the families away. The owner, not going to put up with that. What he started doing is hiring off-duty patrol. The off-duty patrol, he gave them carte blanche. You take care of the bad guys. And they started taking care of the bad guys. Within 2 months, our men and women in off-duty cleared out all the gang members, all the drug dealers, all of that. And it was back to once again being a safe family place to go and bowl and take your family. The same thing can happen in the Northwest. You can have a safe neighborhood. Everybody wants safe neighborhoods. Those people deserve safe neighborhoods too. We need more neighborhood liaisons.
For the record, LPD is fully staffed and the chief has requested no additional employees. Just important for you to know. With respect to policing and areas and in the Northwest District, it is also, policing follows problems. So the problems are our opportunities, and the opportunities that we have are what Lift Lakeland is all about, which is the initiative the commission launched to be able to try and prioritize the needs of a community to help that community gain its own footing. No better start exists than people in their own neighborhoods and their own business arenas that want to be able to start to create businesses in their sector of where they live. And that's what we want to accomplish. So what do we really need to do is more complicated than just the infrastructure answer. It's investing in the lives of people. It's getting mentoring going. It's getting training going. It's creating business minority financing opportunities. It's the equipping of people and the changing of lives and the transferring of hope that make an area better. This infrastructure of our city can support that as we go along, and it will require less policing as a result. There you go, sir.
Every area has troubled areas. Believe that some of them are just hidden, but they are troubled. In the Northwest area, I walk the community. They do have very productive businesses there through Kathleen 98 North, 10th Street, MLK, you name it. They have good businesses. It's all about redeveloping the homes. Redeveloping the homes, providing the residents there with some type of program to redevelop their homes and upkeep. And once you do that, that's when you'll see the beautification of the Northwest area, because then it'll mirror the South Side. So that's what you really want to do, because the businesses are there. It's just that we have to redevelop the community really good as far as the home structure. Thank you. Oh boy,
So
I'm in trouble now.
one of the greatest challenges that are going on right now is pretty much related to the state of the workforce and business. How do you see yourself addressing that issue?
The workforce and the need.
The workforce and the business.
Okay, trying to make sure that I communicate the need to Florida Southern College, Florida Southern College, Southeastern University, Florida Polytechnic, all the major institutions within the city of Lakeland, trying to provide some type of job fair, letting them know the opportunities that the city of Lakeland have, and even going beyond that, reaching the high school level students and the vocational level students to make sure that they know they have opportunities here. The quality of life is great here, and to keep that talent here, that's the most important thing. If we do that, I can guarantee you, not one time, but we have to do it on a quarterly basis, at least 4 times a year, to reach out to the students and let them know, hey, come on and work for us. We'll provide you with great paying wages and benefits. Thank you.
Serving as for about 12 years on the Lakeland Economic Development Council and its former chairman at High Skill High Wages as well. One of the things we have to do is make sure, and when we've done city visits across the country, to be able to learn from them and to be able to pull away some of the assets of each of their marketplaces that are unique. We have found that their matching training needs with new employers was one of the great attraction points that you could bring in new companies. So Polk State College has an absolutely wonderfully flexible ability to be able to do this, to take workforce training existing employees as well as ones that you're going to attract to an area to match the needs of that particular employer. Education and investing in people, this is again why it's the human side, the hard work side, is the part of this that makes a company go, wow, that's a community we can go and grow in. They're going to see our assets, they'll be able to evaluate that. But what matters is what can we do with their people and how much stickness will we gain from the fact that they not only learn what they need to learn, but they like to live there.
Thank you. The state of the workforce. Regarding the workforce in business.
Okay, the state of the workforce. Yes, we need workers. There's for help sign or help wanted signs everywhere. I don't know how to get somebody to say, yeah, I want to work. That's a tough one. I think that we ought to invest more in things along trade training, not push so much college. There's a lot of college grads that can't find jobs, yet there's a lot of trades that really, really need people. I know that there are really good programs. For instance, Lakeland Electric has a really good program in the schools, bringing them up. I know the airport has really good programs for kids interested in flying that can you get a lot of credits, a lot of training within the high school and then go, I believe Southeastern, you can get a full commercial pilot license within 2 years at no cost, which is fabulous. So I think maybe educating the kids in the schools to more what is available out there. And I think bringing, have a better internship program. I think marrying the business community with the schools and the lower education schools to help bridge that to the colleges, I think would be a great thing to do.
Thank you. And Greg, these are wonderful questions, but they're also questions that are bigger than, take an aspirin and call me in the morning, right? These are big questions. I am an employer and I went to college and realized that college wasn't right for me. So I came back, I started working with a contractor, and for the last 22 years, I've had my own business. And I will tell you, to echo, a lot of people don't want to work, but that's okay. That's not what we're going after here. What we're talking about is how can we marry the needs that we have with what's really kind of coming down the pike with employment. And one of the biggest things we can do is affordable housing. Obviously, we've got to have places for people to be able to live. We've got to take these colleges and find a way to not ship these kids off and have them want to stay here. I've got 3 college age kids. I want them here. So I don't want them working in roofing, but I want them to work in some high tech jobs. And I think that if we can take and marry together both the education and the job, I think we'll have something.
So this is a passion of mine. I have fought in the last year for our budget to include more internships at the City of Lakeland. The City of Lakeland historically has done a great summer internship program for students who have gone away to college and then come home in the summers. But we have multiple universities throughout the City of Lakeland who those students that may not be from here have any opportunity to go and work at the city and see how they can be public servants, whether it's through biology at 7 Wetlands, whether it's LE, or maybe they're not even working toward an undergrad, but they're in a technical vocation where they want to get hands-on experience. Internships are the absolutely best way to figure out as a young person what you do or don't want to do in your life. And so additionally to the mentoring that we talked about earlier that the mayor discussed, it's vitally important to have strong internship programs. In addition, just to say, Polk County School District does an amazing job at academies. So what Saga just mentioned is actually out at Tenor Rock High School with LE. And there are several partnerships around Polk County that I think you should delve into. We are addressing this need on a regular basis.
included in your closing remarks. You all have opponents, including in your closing remarks, address how you will stay engaged in your passion to serve the city if you're not elected.
Stacy has very good questions. Well, thanks for tolerating my over 2-minute intro. I want to say thank you so much for having me again. I love the city of Lakeland. I feel like I have invaluable experience that I've learned over the last 3 years of how the city works, how I can help small businesses navigate, how I help constituents navigate issues that they may face. I'm just a phone call away or an email, and I'm really happy to do that. I love our public safety, LPD and fire department. I think they do an amazing job. And I also think that Lakeland's awesome because of the people who live and work here and the people who go to school here and educate our future. So thank you for being a part of that. With regard to if I lose, which Stacy, I hope not, I hope I win. But I am committed to this community. I am actively engaged in the Harrison Parents Association right now. I serve on multiple boards, including Lakeland Vision. So I'll step away from public life very graciously. The sun will come up on November 3rd, and I will get back to work at providing for this community that I love so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again for this forum. I think that it's of utmost importance that all of you get to not only put a name to the face, but also to learn a little bit about where we come from and where we are and where we're going. I've been actively invested in my time, my family, and my business in Lakeland since I was a little kid. From joining local teams to being out at the rec centers to now coaching. I started a nonprofit for at-risk kids. I'm active in my church. So it's interesting because I don't think that anybody that's up here has a problem with serving, right? I think that's why we're here, is we're pretty active, and we're just trying to take that to the next level and serve you all and lead in a different forum. So I agree. If November 3rd comes, the sun will still rise. My wife will give me a kiss, and it will be another day that God has given me to serve. But I'm very, very thankful. And as far as just communication, that is one of the things that have been very, very awesome to me, is the number of individuals that have reached out and said, I mean, they've got to question anything from a motorcycle driving down the road making too much noise to, I got a bundle of trash that I don't know where to get picked up. And I will tell you, with one email to me, that goes out to the right person and it gets solved. We have got a city worth living in, worth fighting for, and worth voting for. So thank you, and I'll see you November 2nd.
Thank you. I've actually, one of the things that I did in my career is I was the semifinalist or a semifinalist in the largest business competition, the largest statewide business competition in America. What that did for me is it opened up a lot of doors between my company and investors and lawyers and all different kinds of things. I've actually already been working on bringing that competition down here to Lakeland, which I think would help our entrepreneurs a lot. It's a nationwide kind of thing. It would open up a lot of doors. Another thing I'm very active in, as you all can tell, I get into the community. I do my little videos all over, and I try to help small business owners, people, startups, starting up, no matter what they're doing. I have a lot of connections. I've always been a connector. And that's what I look to do. It's like, oh, you need this. Okay, if I don't know, I know who to put you in with. And that's one of the things that I very, very much enjoy doing. I absolutely love doing that. Introducing people to the right people, helping them get started, giving them advice, not doing it for them. I believe in teaching them, mentoring them, as opposed to, here, I'll do this for you. A lot of times people say, hey, what is that? And I'm like, well, if you go research it and you go look it up, you'll learn it better. So that's one of the things I really enjoy doing. I'm already doing that. I'm already building businesses down here. And I will continue to do that because I want the best for Lakeland. I love Lakeland, and I'd love your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is it dead? Okay, there you go. I would continue to do what I'm doing as mayor if elected. And I will tell you, I have a life privilege. My orientation in life as a business person is to be a tent maker. And if you go back to Paul in the Old Testament, I love people. I love equipping. I love seeing people grow. And I love seeing organizations move into the areas that make them thrive.
And I suspect that's been the reason that I've participated in over those 21 boards in the city over a period of time. And it would be what I would continue to do for both the city and across the state if I were not elected. The reason I think it's imperative to reelect me, and that it's very opportune for us as a city, is we're at a cusp moment, at a pivotal time. We are growing at an extremely rapid rate. And it is the 25 years of experience in this city and helping areas grow in many, many areas that we want to continue to build upon. And I have high respect from all sectors of this city, and I am grateful for that. And I give that credit to God, not to me. But it is important because relationships are glue. Opportunities are the things that cement a future and a growth. And it is built upon people who understood that well earlier and who understand the need for what needs to be done today. And I truly believe that God has equipped me with enough of that skill set to be able to make our city grow greater.
First, I wanted to apologize, Ms. Dominique, because that was the first time I ever got bummed. As far as the time, that was ever. I always make the time, so I gotta do better.
Reset.
I never got bummed. Oh Lord. Okay, real quick. Being born and raised here, went off to college, coming back to take care of my parents and serve this community. I've been serving this community, the city of Lakeland, where I grew up in, for 20 years, and I never stopped. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter to me. I'm always going to serve this community because I love the city of Lakeland and I love my home. This is where I grew up in. I'm diligent and consistent with my community service, and I will always serve. And I do hope I earn your vote on Tuesday, November the 2nd, 2021. Thank you.
Well, I would like to say to President Nate, thank you for allowing us to host this event. And I will say to each of you, we appreciate you participating in this competition and showing your passion and concern for our city. So we thank you very much. Any questions?
Oh! Looks like more than 40 feet. Oh. It means you're spending your time well. That was a terrible effort. Thank you. Okay. All right, now for the bad dad joke of the week. Did you know that it's frowned upon to laugh excessively or out loud in Hawaii? They prefer you keep it to a low ha. I know. More booze, please. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you.